If you are a Trump supporter and want to save this country from absolute destruction, the destruction that we're watching the Biden administration as we speak, with his executive orders destroying jobs, opening borders, releasing ICE detainees, 92% of which have criminal backgrounds, etc., etc. We need to stop this. We need to know what we're talking about. We need to be on top of the arguments from a lawful perspective, none of the QAnon garbage, none of the Confederate flag people garbage. The law, real arguments. You need to understand the law. Let me teach it to you so that you have something to stand on and we can change the future of the horrible direction this country is going in. So starting back around 2001, I started studying law. I went to college for it, and most importantly, I went to these private law study groups. It became a passionate hobby of mine. And I was in all these various court cases between myself and third parties where we watched. It was all about rights-related issues and constitutional issues. Myself and these groups around the country, including locally, would study the law intensely, and we learned absolutely astounding things. And what's happened is we've witnessed since the election all of the stuff that we learned and discovered the hard way, the stuff that we didn't want to know about, transpired in real time in front of the American public during the election in 2020. And I wanted to try to teach people a little bit about what we learned and how to best approach this so that what we're doing makes the most sense as we move forward. An example I want to use here is the Dominion Insider reveals source of suitcases and ballots. This is one video among many relating to Dominion. Now, I want to make it very clear. The software issue itself, the voter software and all that, is a whole separate issue. The election itself could have been overturned or at least changed or at least redone based solely on the constitutional issues, especially Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan. Georgia is another mess unto itself because of the laws that they have on their books about not needing to recount the signature ballots. So making recounts absolutely irrelevant. It's kind of like a built-in fraud. And I know a lot of Georgia residents, a ton of them have recognized this and speak out about it. But back to the subject matter here, I want to try to teach people about how so much of the stuff that we saw involving the hearings before the legislatures in the various states with Rudy Giuliani, it was interesting and good stuff. But the problem was, like in this video right here, it was mainly circumstantial. It wasn't something that could be lawfully proven as evidence of fraud. That was the problem. And I think Rudy Giuliani recognized a lot of this, and that's why so much of this didn't move forward. Now, that doesn't mean it's not potential. It's not evidence that could lead to proof of fraud. It absolutely could. And it's certainly excellent circumstantial evidence. And it's certainly evidence of, at the bare minimum, negligence, among other problems. So there's definitely something in here that can be dug into. I'm hoping there's people that will dig into this. I suspect there is over 2021. There's going to be a lot that's going to be exposed based on a lot of the testimony presented. But please keep in mind, folks, so much of the testimony heard is circumstantial, and a lot of it, too much of it, is hearsay. That's why so much of this didn't move forward. If you focus on the constitutional issues alone, that is what can really bring home the whole problem with what happened. They can move forward lawfully to prove the election was unlawful and tainted. I wanted to interrupt really quick and point out the Kelly versus Pennsylvania case. I'm going to be covering this in the future. It's something you need to follow. This case proves that the Pennsylvania election was unlawful. There was a constitutional violation. We know this because an upper court agreed to this, because it's as plain as day. It relates to Act 77. The constitutional process was not followed when the election laws were changed. They were not. Now, I'm going to show you an article referencing this in an upcoming video, and then I'm going to show you an opinion that challenges this and calls for Kelly's resignation, believing that he is anti-American or anti-democracy because he believes in conspiracy theories, that sort of thing. I'm going to show you that the person writing the article, who has a platform on a major news outlet, is a child of about 18 years old. Forgive me, all you young folks, I'm trying to make a point. Someone very young who has an opinion that believes that Kelly is incorrect, who clearly, this young kid, doesn't understand anything about the law. It demonstrates it in his counterpoint, and that is what we're up against here in America. Rampant ignorance, and that's what's caused the takeover we're experiencing. From there, we can tackle the election software issue. Now, for the record, CNN brought this up 4 years ago about the software issues. They, a leftist media outlet, recognized the problem with the software, the voting software.
You can possibly make it accept a fake card or accept any card, so you could add your own votes.
These are supposed to be the latest machines. They're still used in elections, and they're running ancient software. I think that, like, if somebody wanted to, it would be pretty easy to fake an election.
PBS themselves, a week before this last election, did a mini documentary on how hackable, what a problem this software is. This is not something the right is complaining about solely, it's something the left has complained about in the past. So, along with this, I wanted to bring up tell you about other things that I'm going to cover here in the future. My future videos are going to be about how we can prove there was no insurrection easily. How David Pakman, this leftist, with his leftist platform of over 1 million subscribers, lies and manipulates his audience. And perhaps at some point in the future, I'll explain exactly how the election was gotten away with that no one is talking about. I hope you'll stay tuned for that. That information specifically I'm going to bring out down the line. There was a way that this happened. I suspect Trump knows about this and figured it out over the last month before the inauguration. Also on that record, Trump didn't let anyone down. He did the right thing. He's letting we, the people, handle this. It's not his problem. He exposed it. It's our problem. He's leaving it to us to handle this just as he should. And we should do it for him. Now, if I haven't mentioned it already, I'm a non-registered, non-voter, non-partisan non-voter. Okay? That's how separate, that's how detached from this I am. And that's why I lean so hard right now, where I never used to before. I'm an atheist. There's a lot I don't have in common with the right. I lean right because they support the Constitution. They support America. The left admits over and over again they do not. Chuck Schumer just came out 3 days ago on the record saying he wants to bypass the legislature through executive orders, through giving Biden unlimited executive order powers due to in a quote emergency of climate change. I'm looking out my window right now. I don't see any emergency. To bypass the legislature is anti-constitutional. What he should have said is not we want to bypass the legislature. He should have been more clear. He should have said, we want to bypass the Constitution. Please stay tuned, folks. Thanks for listening.
I'll circle back if there's more I can share with you. I'll circle back with you if there's more to convey. I'll have to just circle back with you. We can circle back. I'm happy to circle back with you. I can circle back. I will have to circle back on that one. That's an excellent question. Oh, such an important question. We will circle back with you, and we'll circle back with you. It's an interesting question, but we'll circle back. I'm happy to circle back, but I'll have to circle back with you on it. It's a good question, but we'll circle back with you on this today. We will certainly circle back with you more directly.